Coach's Corner with Spoon Risper, the head coach at Westside for year number 16 for Coach Risper. Hard to believe, Coach. All right, let's talk about last year first. 8-3. You had your second straight winning season after two losing seasons, so you're obviously back on track after a couple of hiccups there. What were your thoughts on last season?
We were just grateful to be back in the win column, and I was just proud of my guys playing 10 sophomores last year. I was nervous. I'm not gonna lie to you. I was on eggshells, but to come out playing 10 sophomores and go 8-3 in the region that we were in, I was very, very pleased.
Oh, absolutely. No question. Well, let's talk about your defense now. You lost two big players, Quavo Marshall, who is now a cornerback for Kentucky, and we're expecting big things from him. Also, Tony Mathis Jr. is now at Ohio University. Those are two big players, but you've got all nine of the others back for your defense. So I think your expectation, I would assume, and you correct me if I'm wrong, is that that defense is going to be much improved, even though you lost two big players there. But the experience of those other nine guys ought to make a lot of difference, shouldn't it?
Yeah, we're hoping so. On paper, we're looking like we're going to be okay, but you just never know. We got to stay away from the injury bug and that type of stuff, um, and hope that the kids keep progressing along the way and getting better throughout the summer. But yeah, we're excited for what's going on so far this summer with those nine returners.
Who are you looking for to lead you on defense this year, Coach?
We got three different defensive linemen that played a lot last year and started last year. Kenneth Hodges is one of he's in the interior of the D line, and my two edge rushers, which is Damon Folston and Nate Thrash. They'll be very solid at defensive end. We also have Cortavius Coleman and Jakari Smith coming back at linebacker that we expect great things out of. And at outside linebacker, we have Jaden Marshall, who's a sophomore, but he's about 6'3", 6'4" already, and weighs right at 200 pounds. He's been doing really well this summer. And on the back end, we're returning my son, Paul Risper, at safety and Jaden Williams at corner. So those are the returners that are coming back for us. And we just have high expectations, and we see high leadership qualities out of those guys.
Also, a lot of expectations for the offense. We'll talk about that and how the quarterback situation looks pretty good going into this year in our next report. Back with Coach Spoon Risper from Westside, year number 16 for you, Spoon. All right, your offense, you guys were pretty good last year, 29.3 points. You got some really good players. Katie Iverson, obviously. You got to replace Jesse Bell, who's a really big player for you. Let's first talk about Iverson and your son, Paul, who's kind of penciled in to start at quarterback. What are your thoughts on those two kids right there?
Yeah, we're solid right there. Katie Iverson he's a load now. He's about 6 foot, 210 pounds, and he's very versatile. He can cut and slash, and he can outrun you. He's a power back also, so he's gonna always lunge forward for at least three or four. And our motto here at Westside, three times four, that's the first down. So we're just happy to have him back. And on the offensive line, we have Jaden Dawson, Corey Daniel, and Quentin Moore coming back. All three of those guys started last year. We're a little suspect right now for the two tackles, but we're working on that right now. And at wide receiver, we have coming back Tristan Houston. He's a little tiny mite. He's about 5'7", if that. But he's very explosive, runs very good routes and very good hands. So we're looking for some good things coming back on offense.
Westside was dropped from Quad A to Double A. It's going to mean a couple of your big rivalry games, Perry and Baldwin, are not going to be on the schedule this year's region games. But your thoughts on that? What are you thinking about Region 2 and Double A now with Rutland, Pike, Morgan, Jackson, and Callaway?
Well, it's still some very competitive teams. No matter what league you from 4A, 3A, 2A, like you're going to have some dogs on any level. So
Sure.
there's no running from competition. So, but Callaway has a great tradition. Of course, the head coach is a West Georgia man. where I graduated from, and they won the state championship a couple of years ago. They'll be strong like they normally are. Morgan County had a great year last year. I think they might have went maybe 11-2, 10-2, something like that. Great program, great classic coach to lead that crew. Jackson just hired a new head coach. They always keep a very solid program. Rutland, Coach Anthony Williams has those guys going in the right directions. They gave us a dogfight last year, and Pike County just hired Coach Holmes, who played for the state championship at Manchester. He's at Pike now, so our league is going to be very competitive. It's wide open. There's not a game that I can point to and say, "Hey, this will be an easy night." That's not the case. So, and they all have very, very good head coaches. So,
Yeah.
Those teams take on those head coaches' personality, they'll be pretty doggone good.
Should be some great talent coming up. And of course, the first game on August 17th against Howard. Coach Risper, thank you so much. Always good to talk to you. Good luck to you this season. We look forward to seeing you during the year.
I appreciate you having me, Bill. And listen, this is year 27 here at the West. I've started as an assistant coach, wide receiver coach, and man, it's almost 30 years later, man.
Thank you, Coach.
Thanks.